At 82, I've lived long enough to know a thing or two about life. But there's one decision I made that still weighs heavy on my heart. Moving into a nursing home. At the time, it felt like plus logical choice. My family thought it was the best path forward. They said I'd be comfortable, cared for, surrounded by professionals. And I believed them. But once I got there, reality didn't match the promises. Now I know, life in a nursing home isn't just about convenience. It's about trade-offs you might not realize until it's too late. So if you're watching this because you're considering that path, either for yourself or someone you love, please listen closely. I want to share 6 honest regrets I've come to understand. Not to scare you, but to prepare you. Because once you move in, getting out isn't always as simple as it sounds. Let's begin. Regret number 1, losing my independence. The biggest shock wasn't the room. It wasn't the scheduled meals or the unfamiliar faces. It was the slow, painful realization that I had lost control over my life. Before, I chose when to wake up. I decided what to eat, when to walk, how to spend my days. Now, everything follows a timetable, and it's not mine. Breakfast at 7:30. Lights out by 9. Want to go outside? You'll need permission and an available staff member. Even choosing my own clothes started to feel like a request instead of a right. I remember waking up that first week, reaching for my favorite book, only to realize it wasn't there. Neither was my old chair, my photos, the things that made me feel like me. Independence isn't just about doing things. It's about being yourself. And once you give that up, it's very hard to get back. So before you decide, ask yourself, are you truly ready to live by someone else's schedule? Regret number 2, feeling forgotten. When I moved in, my family promised they'd visit often. And at first, they did. My daughter came weekly. My grandkids dropped by on weekends. But as time passed, so did the visits. Calls replaced visits. Messages became less frequent. Holidays were the worst. They all meant to come. But plans changed. Suddenly, I was sitting alone in the common room, watching others stare at the door, hoping someone would walk in. The world outside keeps turning. And the longer you're not part of it, the easier it is to be left behind. It's not that people stop loving you. It's just, life gets busy. But for us in here, every visit matters. If you're considering a nursing home, ask yourself this. Are you ready for the possibility of being out of sight, and out of mind? Regret number 3, losing my sense of purpose. When I moved in, I thought I was just changing where I lived. But what I didn't realize was that I was also leaving behind why I lived. At home, I had chores. I had a reason to get up, watering plants, making coffee, even sorting the mail. In the home, those things disappeared. Meals were delivered. Rooms were cleaned. No more tasks. No more routine. At first, I thought, finally, a break. But a break becomes a void. And the days start to blur together. I watched others fall into the same silence. One man, George, used to be a carpenter. His hands were always building something. Now, they just rest on his lap. He once told me, I don't know who I am anymore. Purpose doesn't always have to be grand. But it has to exist. Ask yourself, what gives your life meaning? And can you still have that where you're going? Regret number 4, declining health faster than expected. Before I moved in, I was doing okay. I could walk, cook, take care of myself. But the home made things easy, too easy. No more cooking. No more long walks. Push a button, and help comes. It sounds convenient. But convenience has a cost. The less I moved, the more I weakened. My legs stiffened. Getting up from a chair started feeling like a mountain. And it wasn't just me. People who walked in on their own were using walkers in months. Then wheelchairs. My friend Alice once said, "I feel like I aged 10 years in just a few months." And she was right. Ease isn't always kind to the body. So ask yourself, will you still fight to move, to stretch, to stay strong, when you no longer have to? Regret number 5, the loss of privacy and dignity. At home, I had space. I had solitude. I could close my door and just be. But in a nursing home, privacy is a rare thing. People walk in and out. Room checks. Shared bathrooms. Shared rooms. Even basic things, getting dressed, taking a shower, often require assistance. No one warns you how hard it is to surrender the small acts that once made you feel human. And not everyone gets a private room. I was lucky. But others weren't. Some shared with people who shouted at night, or worse. Your room never really feels like yours. Your name might still be on the door. But your dignity? That slowly erodes. So ask yourself. Are you ready to live with less privacy, maybe none at all? Regret number 6, realizing it's harder to leave than you think. When I moved in, I told myself it was just a trial. If I don't like it, I'll leave. But that's not how it works. My home sat empty. Bills still came. My kids started tidying things up. Selling furniture. Talking about renting it out. And then I noticed. I wasn't as strong. I wasn't as confident. Could I really go back to living alone? The longer you stay, the harder it is to return. Physically. Emotionally. Financially. Some people lose the option entirely. And that's what nobody tells you. Once you go in, the outside world gets farther and farther away. So before you make that move, ask yourself. Can you leave if you want to? Or is this goodbye to life as you knew it? Final thoughts. Growing older is not the regret. That's a gift. But believing a nursing home was my only choice, that's what I wish I could change. Nursing homes have their place. Some people truly need them. But for many of us, there are other ways to get help. Without losing your freedom, your purpose, your identity. If I could do it again, I would have fought harder. Asked more questions. Explored more options. So if you're standing at this crossroads, don't just ask what's easiest. Ask what truly keeps you alive. Because the routines you have today, the freedom to choose, to move, to matter, is worth holding on to. As long as you can.